Hey, it's your friend Choice CJ here, and I'm coming to you guys with something a little different. I am bringing you guys another Duel Links video after probably about 2.5 months. I've been playing tons of Duel Links still, but I've just been really busy and haven't had time to upload it between my different leagues and GBA work and things like that. But if you are tuned into Duel Links, you know that there was a KC Cup this past weekend. If you're not tuned into Duel Links, well then, I'm telling you, we had a KC Cup this weekend, which is basically a prelim for the World Championship qualifiers. If you obtain a certain score, you have the opportunity to compete for the qualifiers there. And if you get like one of the top 2 or top 3 places in your region, you get to go to Japan. And so I don't anticipate end up being able to go to Japan, but it was still cool to participate in this event and, play in basically what is the most competitive setting that Duel Links currently has to offer through Konami channels. Like, it's true that there are lots of other tournaments run by Decade and other content creators, but I haven't participated in any of those, so this is the next best thing. And so, let me quickly go to the KC Cup page here. And I can show you guys, yeah, I did end up with a pretty decent score, 30,779, which is good for top 1,000 in the world. And if I click this button, it shows you my my record. It was 68 wins out of 106 duels, good for 64% win percentage, which is pretty decent. And about an hour before the KC Cup finished, I was the 100th placed person in North America. By the time the KC Cup ended, like 30 minutes or 60 minutes after that, I dropped just barely out of the top 100. You can see this man, James, or a woman, I don't want to assume. Maybe they're just playing under the name James, but they're a woman. Had a slightly better score than me. If I had won just one more duel, I would have been top 100. But my main objective was to get top 1,000 global, because that netted me the rewards that I felt like I wanted. It gives me access to a prismatic UR ticket, and I can get any of these cards now. I have not quite decided what I want. Either I want this Pyro Rex that's over here, or I want, where is it? Evil Swarm Salamandra. Again, I have not yet decided what I want. But anyway, so what deck did I use to do this well in KC Cup? Well, I used what I think is pretty indisputably the best deck right now. I don't think it's the most played deck, but I am using Geargias, and so this was the exact list that I used to do the majority of my climbing. I started out with Archfiends, which was a little bit of a struggle because of consistency. Then I switched to Sylvans for a little bit. I got up to like probably 14k with Sylvans, but on like Saturday and Sunday, Masked Heroes got so popular. Like over 50% of my duels were versus Masked Heroes, and they could just OTK you so fast. Like, they could just blow right past Sylvans. It doesn't even matter. A lot of people adjusted by switching to Grit as their skill for Sylvans, which allows you to have a percentage chance to survive in OTK. And actually, as it turns out, we're learning that it's a very high percentage to save you if you are at 4,000 life points. But rather than go into Grit, I decided to switch it up and go to Geargia, which is an extremely explosive deck. If you don't know what this does, you use your Anchor and your Attacker, which both have effects when you flip them face up. They can either destroy spell and traps like Attacker does, or you can use Anchor to destroy monsters. And they can flip themselves back down into face down defense, so that way you can get their effects over and over as long as you can keep them alive. You do need other Geargia monsters on the field to get these effects to activate, and so the best way to do that is with Ties of the Brethren and with Powerful Rebirth. I only ran 2 Ties because pretty much Ties is a dead card after you activate your first one, unless you have some way to regain life points. And so to me, like, you want to see it quickly, and that's why I'm playing Restart. I want to try and get Ties if I can, but after you get your first one, you don't want to see another. So I felt playing 2 was good. Also, another reason I wanted 2 instead of 3 is because I have Mirror Wall in this deck. Mirror Wall is a pretty decent counter to Masked Heroes that run Hey Trunade, which was becoming fairly popular. You can activate Mirror Wall, you can pay for the wall, and that reduces you 2,000 life points, and then if you do that, you can't activate any ties. And so I didn't want to, pay for my Mirror Wall and then have 3 dead cards in my deck. That would be pretty bad. So once you get out your ties, basically if you can just survive to the next turn, you pretty much have game, because you can go +4 potentially on your next turn. And the best way to protect yourself is with Pulse Mines. Pulse Mines puts all of your opponent's monsters into defense, which is very good. Mirror Wall again helps with that as well. Econ is another decent protection card, and then Forbidden Chalice we have for dealing with Sylvans, because they're extremely annoying. So because this was working for me and I felt pretty comfortable with it, that's what I had been using for almost all the tournament from Saturday there on. Now that KC Cup's over, I have another version of the deck that I am testing, and I'll show you guys. I'm running it on my buddy Astro Phoenix over here. It's a very similar build, but we are now running 3 Ties of the Brethren instead of just 2, and we added 2 Desert Sunlight instead of Powerful Rebirth. So Desert Sunlight allows you to be a little bit more aggro, because you can flip all of your Geargia monsters face down, and then activate Desert Sunlight on your opponent's turn and potentially get a lot of effects to pop. So it has more destruction, a little bit. I don't know if I would say it has less protection, but I guess it's still the 3 Pulse Mines instead of 2 Mirror Wall plus 1 Econ. I'm running no Mirror Walls and 2 Econ. And then I added a D-Wrath over a second Chalice, because if we do have these dead ties potentially in the late game, we can use those as discard fodder for Divine Wrath in theory. Another thing that we could do to make our ties more live is to use this card, Spell Absorbing Life. It has the similar effect as Desert Sunlight in that it flips your face-down monsters face up, but you also gain life points when you do it. The reason I don't like this is because it potentially pops your opponent's Sylvan's effects. So like, what do you call it? Co-Mushroom-O will activate with this effect, and so I don't like that very much. I'd rather be having the Desert Sunlight, and then I'll just try and play around having dead ties, I guess. You can't really play around dead hands, but it is what it is. So I have been running Restart with this, but I like Balance just because I prefer the consistency. There's some times where you draw like 3 monsters and a Econ or a Ties or something, and that's just not very good for you. I'd rather have a mix of protection and monsters, and even if that slightly decreases our chance of drawing Tides. So anyway, we've been going on for about 8 minutes here. Let's go ahead and find some duels. I was ranking up with this a moment ago. I was actually recording, and then all of my power in my computer room went out, which was really odd. I was playing this dude, he was playing Flying Fish. Flying Fish is still extremely popular, even though I don't think it's amazing. My power went out, and I ended up losing versus him, so that really sucks. But we are going to keep on attempting to climb. If we can get a good winning streak going, I think I'll probably try and play to King of Games. Otherwise, if I lose one of my first few games, I will probably just cut it after 30 minutes or so. So we're playing Tortuador from Colombia, running Bandit Keith, so he's probably playing some sort of Restart variant. We shall see. So yeah, right now, I think Masked Heroes is the most popular deck. It's extremely explosive, and the meta is having to adjust to it. Okay, so he's playing Restart, but he doesn't have an extra deck, so it's most likely Sylvans, although it could be Geargia. Like, I think Restart is probably the best skill in the game right now, because there's so many decks that want to dig for one particular card. Like, Gears want to dig for... Alright, he's playing Sylvans. Okay. The Sylvans want to dig for Mushroom. Masked Heroes want to dig for Mass Change or potentially Vion or things like that. So lots of really good cards. Alright, so we have our arsenal up here, and is this dude already gonna forfeit versus us? That would be amazing. I would take those free wins all day. Alright, he's gonna stick around. So we do have our Chalice to potentially deal with Co-Mushroom-O, if he wants to set that. But I would like to get another... Actually, this was probably a misplay, leaving it out like this. I needed to tribute this in order to get out an anchor. That would have been much better. I'm not sure why I didn't do that. But it's okay. We should still be able to do pretty well. What is he? Yeah, he's just got bad connection. So he's got Martial Leaf. Do I want to... Yeah, I think I need to... I probably need to Forbidden Chalice this, if he doesn't disconnect. Yeah, so this kind of sucks, actually. This is not a good start for us. I really wish I had tagged this out into Anchor. I guess it wouldn't matter if I don't draw another Geargia next turn. No, I think I just let it go, actually. And hope he doesn't flip a Martial Leaf. He's only got a 2 out of 15 chance. He's got a Hermitry, and he's got Komashurumo. Okay, so this is fine. So he's going to use his Komashurumo to chain probably to one of my Pulse Mines. He's got a 2 out of 3 chance to hit a Pulse Mines. And then we can just chain Pulse Mines. And he can't do anything for the rest of this turn. So we shall see what he does. What is he gonna target? Just don't hit the Chalice. That would be kind of crappy. Alright, cool. He goes for the middle, so he goes for Pulse Mines. So we can just chain this. And like I said, we're safe for the rest of the turn. And it's good that he didn't mill a Rose Lover or anything like that, because then he could be immune to my Pulse Mines. With whatever big monster he chooses to summon. He could have used the Rose Lover to summon a Hermitry or a Guardioak or whatever. But as it is now, he's just left with a fairly weak Martial Leaf on the field. And this worked out best because we didn't have to go -2 in order to preserve our arsenal. Alright, we did get an attacker. So what I'm going to do now then... there's a decent chance that this is an Ultimate Providence face down. That's kind of what I'm thinking. And geez, this guy with his connection issues are so annoying. He should just leave. We definitely take those wins. But yeah, I'm gonna... Okay, so he does end up leaving. So what I was gonna do was I was gonna send the Arsenal to Graveyard to get an Anchor, and then I can summon my attacker and attack into his Martial Leaf. And that was going to probably be a good setup for us. And if he had Ultimate Providence face down, I guess that could have been disruptive because he could have killed my Arsenal and then pitched a Rose Lover to grave. But we won't find out if that's what happened or not because he forfeit. So, super. I'm sure that wasn't super entertaining to watch, but for the purposes of ranking up, we definitely take those. So now we're going to be playing against Thick Shizu. And what is Thick Shizu playing? I'm running Balance, and the Shizu does not have a skill, so it could be No Mortal Can Resist. We opened pretty broken. I'm not disappointed about this at all. Because Ties plus Desert Sunlight is like pretty close to an auto win. The only way that it would be better is if we had... Oh, he's playing Counter Fairies. That's not very good for us. That's pretty bad, actually. The only thing that way it would be better, I think, is if we had Pulse Mines instead of D-Wrath. Alright, we've got this Meltiel, Sage of the Sky. Okay, so... I think this is okay. I think with, what is this? This is a Solemn Scolding. And that's what this card is. So, do we want to trigger it? Or we want to try and trigger it with something else? I think... Geez, this is kind of tricky. I don't know what I want to do here. I think I'm going to wait to activate Ties. Because... Yeah, I think I'm going to wait. So let's do this. Let's attack over it. Yeah, it's 100% a Solemn Scolding. Because one thing that you have to notice is that when I summoned it, it was lingering at 1500 attack. Before, and then it asked if my opponent wanted to activate an effect. And so the effect that wanted to be activated, or not activated, but, oh, now he's got this guy. This is less good. I think I'm actually going to lose this. I don't really know what I can do. Okay, so I guess I got pretty lucky there. Okay, so let's try a few things. I think I could be cute here. Let's activate Arsenal. Oh, Solemn Scolding doesn't work for monster effects, or does it? I don't know. Let's summon a attacker. No, I guess an anchor. So let's see here. So I'm trying to get this Solemn Scolding to proc. And I think we can do that this way. So if an anchor, yeah, okay, I think this is fine. So if I summon this Arsenal, he should Scolding it. He does not. So let's flip this face down. So what the heck does this guy have? I think I misplayed this. Yeah, I think I misplayed this. Well, that's okay. So I wanted to try and... Let's just try this now. So he should... Oh, he can't Scolding it. He's got 2 face-down cards now. So now he should... Okay, so now we can destroy this. I should have done this on his turn, maybe? I don't know. I don't exactly know what I'm doing right now. Let's see. Okay, so I blew up the thing, but he's got still all of his life points. I think I just need to pass. I guess I'm gonna tutor this into Geargia attacker. So I think he's got a Scolding and like a Wall of D set. So he had Scolding set. He set another card, so now he can no longer activate Scolding. And then because this is not the Divine Punishment or whatever it's called. Alright, let's put this. Okay, he forfeits. So I think because it's not Divine Punishment, he should have been able to chain Divine Punishment to my Desert Sunlight. So it must have been like Wall of D or something. But yeah, I don't think I played that the most elegantly. I was trying to activate his back row while still giving me the option to summon more cards. So, oh well. he ended up forfeiting. Like, I think it just shows you how good this deck is. Like, you can kind of butcher your plays like I did, and you still end up being ahead. So we're going up against Taya Gardner now. And Taya is going to be running Duel Standby. So there's a decent chance of this summon like Dark Worlds. And that's not amazing for us. It could also be Mill. I think Mill would be okay. I wouldn't hate that. Because with Mill, if they massive morph your monsters, you can just flip them down and flip them back up. And then they're no longer massive morphed. But yeah, most likely this is like a Dark World or Dark World Archfiends or something, which is not exactly a common archetype anymore. But we shall see. Sets 1, okay, so probably not Dark World. Or I guess it could be like the Archfiend version. This is a Call of the Archfiend. But yeah, having 5 cards is nice because it did give us 2 monsters, so we have a follow-up play for turn 2. Alright, we did draw a Desert Sunlight, which is pretty cute. So let's just go ahead and set a bunch of cards. Set 1. Set the Prismatic Pulse Mines. That's important. Prismatic is a higher chance of working better, obviously. Yeah, so let's do this. And let's see what that face down is. Whatever it is, he's not activating it right now. It's probably like an Econ or something. And, you know, it makes sense to just pay life points rather than waste a card to protect life points. Like, life points don't matter until you're about to run out of them. Giving up half your life points, no big deal. Okay, so it is Dark Worlds. So yeah, I think it's like Archfiend Dark Worlds. Let's pitch one of these. I think I'm going to pitch the... what do I want to pitch? This is kind of a tricky call. I think I'd rather keep the pulse mines. Alright, so Snow will allow him to search. This might have been a mistake, actually. But we'll see. There might be a way where I can OTK this guy back. So here's Dark World Lightning. He hits my Econ, and there's nothing I can do. Which is fine. Discards his Ceruli. So yeah, most likely here... Yeah, so I think I'm going to lose here. Because now he can pitch his Rainbow. Dark Worlds are so sacky. It's so annoying. Yeah, not much I can do. If I had like a second monster, that would have been... Or, you know, if I had my monster slots all full, that would have been really nice. And the thing that stinks about Rainbow is that he can choose after, like, he chooses upon resolution if he's going to destroy back row or the monsters. I feel like just to prevent myself from getting OTK'd, I have to pulse mines. Which means he's probably going to destroy my monsters. Because there's no sense in destroying the back row. And he knows that destroying my monsters means that I can't activate Anchor's effect. Yeah, so that was the right choice. So now I'm wishing a little bit that I had another monster in hand. But I think it's okay. I think it's okay. Let's see what we got. Okay, we get Chalice, which is not that amazing. But we can now use Arsenal, and I want to get out into Anchor. So what is this set card? It must be like Dark Smog or something. Because not much else makes sense, if you ask me. Or it could be like D-Wrath, who knows. But let's get the Anchor out. And from here, so basically if we can draw into a Geargia next turn, we'll be in decent shape. But I think we already have 1, 2, 3 Engrave, and we have 1 on the field. So we have 4 left in our deck. So we've got a 4 out of 11 chance of, I think, being okay. What is this card? Okay. I still feel like... No, this probably is not called the Archfiend. Or I guess it could be. He could ask him to activate it just to do it. But yeah, basically I need him to not have Dark World Lightning right now. And I need him to... yeah, that's pretty much what I need. Don't have Dark World Lightning. He already played 1. Yeah, this is tricky. I don't think we're going to end up winning this. But he's thinking. Because, like my Chalice is pretty worthless in this position, right? Okay, now it's not worthless. We'll see what he chooses to destroy. He should destroy Anchor. Banishes the Empress, that's fine. Alright, so we'll Chalice this guy. Basically trade our Chalice for his Empress, which is not bad. And then we have Pulse Mines to protect ourselves. So again, it pretty much comes down to... Actually, we can also draw an Econ, so we've got 5 out of 11. So we have like a 45% chance, I think, of winning next turn. So call the Archfiend. So I don't think there's anything in here that he can target. He flipped it face up, but there's nothing he can do. So now he does this. So now we can just Pulse Mines. Sweet. So yeah, Econ or... Alright, so D-Wrath. So that's not the card we wanted. Crap. If I had just gone into Attacker instead of Anchor, that would have worked better. Yeah, I don't think we can win this now. I'm just going to go ahead and forfeit, because there's no way I can win. Because, like, I can't... Next turn, he's going to destroy my anchor. I've got no way of preventing that. Which really sucks. And, yeah, there's no way I was going to be able to make that work. I could have gone attacker, and then I could attack over the thing. Maybe that would have been smarter. Because Geargias attacker has 1,900 points, whereas anchor only has 1,800. So that might have been a mistake, but hard to say. But that is going to disrupt our streak for reaching Cog. So we'll do just this next game, and we'll call this an episode. And we drew pretty broken. I'm not going to lie. So we'll do this. We'll play our ties. This is pretty much GG. I guess it depends on how much monster destruction he's got. But let's get our attacker out, get our anchor out. This is always an interesting question for me. Like, do you flip any of these into face down defense? It shouldn't really matter. We should be able to leave them all in attack mode. And we should be able to win. I guess it makes sense to flip them down if you have Desert Sunlight. If you don't have Desert Sunlight, then it doesn't matter as much. But let's see what he does. I don't think he can survive this turn. And that's like kind of why this deck is so good. Like, if you just run max ties, max pulse mines, and your 8 monsters, like, your chances of opening ties plus pulse mines is pretty reasonable. I don't even know what this guy's running. He doesn't know what to do. Like, he's probably pretty sure that he lost. He's probably, like, figuring out if he should surrender or not. But yeah, this deck is amazing. I don't know, like, if they haven't done a ban list change in quite a while. There's a decent chance actually this is just chain reaction, which I'm pretty much okay with. Oh, it's Vision Hero. Alright, so this is actually no big deal, because then we can just pulse mines. And there we go. And that's game. Pretty much that's game. Yeah, so this is definitely like a Paleozoic chain reaction with Vision Hero Witch Raider. Which is a cool deck concept, but I don't think it's meta. But anyway, what I was saying is I don't know if they're going to end up hitting this deck at all. Like, they haven't made any ban list changes, and generally when they've hit the ban list, they haven't hit any main deck, like main box cards. All right, so let's go with our attacker here, flip it down and up. So the only thing that would be bad if actually no, there's literally no way we can lose this. Unless he's got D-Wrath here, but even if he's got D-Wrath, we can summon our arsenal. I don't know why. Oh, I guess this kind of helps him. Oh, okay, well this is fine. This is why we did this first. Because now we can activate our anchor and blow up both of those. So we'll destroy that. We can switch this back to attack. We can't switch this back to attack, so he lives to fight another day. That much is true. But we can flip that and then flip summon it. And we can blow up 2 cards. Which is this Witch Raider. And then blow up the Paleozoic. So that's awesome. Alright, so now we can... Oh, this is not affected by monster effects. Shit. I totally forgot about that. Well, that's fine. I mean, he's got 1 card in hand. There's almost no way he can win now. And he did prevent himself from being OTK'd this turn. Okay. Sorry, I've got a text message, so... I had to check that out. But yeah, I'm expecting this guy to forfeit any moment now. Yeah, I don't know. They haven't never hit any cards from the main box except for Bamboo. And that's just because it was so, like non-competitive, uncompetitive. I'm not sure what the, like, correct term is. If this is Curse of Anubis, then we're Oh, really? You son of a bitch. Whenever you would take damage, you gain that amount of life points anyway. He had Lava Golem and he didn't activate Lava Golem? What a... Well, anyway. Alright, so there's no point in attacking now. Even if he had activated Lava Golem, I could have easily Divine Wrathed it and it wouldn't have been a big deal. Like, even if he top decks Lava Golem here, I don't mind. Alright, so we did win. Yeah, so the only main deck, or any main box or mini box cards that they hit have been Bamboo. Because they were cancerous. This deck is just really good. I don't know, like, I guess you could hit ties, but this deck is good without ties, so I don't think that really matters. Like, probably what you would have to do is you have to put Attacker and Anchor both to 1. I guess you do that by semi-limiting both of them, just based on the way that the ban list works in Duel Links. Because, yeah, because then that gives you the option, like, basically you set them both to 2, which means you can only have 2 copies combined in the deck of all those cards. It's kind of like how Cyber Angels are right now. They've got Dakini and Machine Angel Ritual to 2, so you can run one of both. So doing that would prevent the explosive plays by quite a bit, but I still don't think it would ruin the deck, because it's really easy to turbo out those cards. With Arsenal, you got 3 copies of a Searcher. You can still run ties to search them out. You can use Accelerator, Geargias Accelerator, to search them from the grave. You can also use Powerful Rebirth to summon them back from the grave. So I think that would be something that makes sense, and it would hurt the deck, but it wouldn't kill it. So I'll be interested to see if they do that. If they make Geargia a lot weaker, though, they're going to have to do something about Masked Heroes and also Sylvans, because then those decks are going to just be so dominant. So anyway, bummed that we couldn't reach King of Games in this episode, but I do hope you guys enjoyed watching. I definitely had a good time. And if you did like this, make sure you drop a like down below and drop a sub so you can stay up to date on all of my latest gaming and Pokemon content. So thank you guys for watching. Until the next time, I'll see you guys later.